About that last recording. I knew that was going to happen eventually. Like when you forget to lock the bathroom door in your Starbucks, and you're like, "Holy shit! Hi, hello there." Yeah, I recorded onto the laptop mic, which I can't vouch for the integrity of a. No offense to Chinese people, the girls are very wonderful, but not. You know, if a diaphragm is only like a tenth of a millimeter wide, then it's a problem. And then my neighbor's dog, I'm thinking about calling the Humane Society because I don't thought dogs go into heat like cats, but I think he's breeding like a species of dog. I want to call like maybe the Smithsonian, or get somebody down here from CNN. What happened to those old news stories where the guy in the street, Byron McGregor, giving you the update? Yeah, so that was eventually going to happen. So, but hell, this is what happens. I could tear it down. Somebody said they sound like Jurassic Park, and I thought, so last night, I always check the header of the video before I post it to make sure, okay, there's a video, there's audio. Because sometimes I post it with no audio. I'm really not charging, so I don't feel like I have to have my shit together as far as posting stuff. So I had the thing on there, and I'm like, oh, I can hear it. I thought it sounds kind of shitty. It sounded like bad stereo. Like where you hear it swimming, the high frequency, like MP3s, are bad rendering. It's this like insecty echo squirt. I mean, I'm really kind of picky when it comes to audio, so if I hear it like that, I'm like, I gotta get new gear. This is fucking brutal. The fuck was I thinking? And then somebody made a comment. Now, it is true that you can buy and sell. I have some cells in there. You can build off of them if you want. Some people are bearish. I know some people they're selling everything. They're like, fuck it. I guess it could be attributed to that. Like, so I hoard stuff. Like, I've hoarded gear and stuff. So maybe I like the idea of accumulating a position in the market and then dumping it. And graphically, I can see the behavior, and I think, oh, yeah, like the British pound, they made new lows, right? Well, I'm sure all the bears were just ecstatic. They were ecstatic about that. Yeah. Well, we're riding the euro again. Now, the euro, I did put on a sell, just so people know. I actually ran the scripts in here, but I knew when the selling was over. Okay, so if I put myself in I'm winning if it's going down mindset, when I see it going down, and I'm already long, so last night what I did was I compromised, which I don't like to do. So this is another growing pain of life. You can't always have everything the way, because some stuff's broken. So you just, in all the trading you've done, it doesn't matter. And of course in Asia, which it's 8:10 p.m. right now. I got to put a clock on the screen, I think. 8:10 p.m. Okay, at that time of night, there's a certain vibe. Okay, the sun's down. Market's done. People are done. The idea that Twitter's moving the market is bullshit. Why isn't it moving when he tweets in the middle of the night? I don't see it moving. You see it moving? Now, granted, if they killed somebody, they assassinated any world leader, some fucknut got up there and did something, like the Joker movie and nonsense, people getting all ridiculous. It's hard to believe people are even like that, honestly. I don't meet anybody like, I don't think. Maybe I'm meeting the next serial killer, I don't even know it. Maybe the guy you could be, at a job where people are, illegal, right? Or people are scamming you, or so you also have all sorts of things that happen to you in your life. And in the middle of that, you're trying to trade. So somebody sent me an email saying, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to trade. Now, yeah, having fearlessness certainly is one ingredient. And I think my anger trading, since I've adapted it to the script so I can trade not angrily but aggressively with the tight stops. I'm running 5 pip stops right now. It's 8:15. So Asia, I can go tight stop, go really big, and I can see, oh, we're drifting. We're either going up or down. I don't think there's a lot of times. Okay, sometimes one market will die, and you're like, what the fuck? Okay, it's just dead because everybody agrees on price for the next 3 days. If you're trying to make money, that's not good for you. If you think that, even if you built a symmetrical hedge and any time it tips 20 pips the other way, you're going to lose a leg. You'll be up 50%. You'll be out of 50% of your tickets, and you'll be free up margin to make more trades. And I put some limits in last night when the dollar was screaming back down. When they trapped all the bulls on the dollar yen and the dollar to the Swiss, the dollar CAD, the $3 pairs. Okay, if you look at it like this, you could have 3. Okay, let's compromise. 6 screens. You've got the dollar pairs, and you got whatever. Okay, so the inversion. Pound to the dollar, dollar to the Swiss. So the lead instrument, if you're just going to trade one direction, you're going to ride that wave. Because that is, if it's like a back and forth, then even if they're not synced, it doesn't matter if you objectively look at your cloud or whatever kind of algo you've built. But I think it's better to fine-tune it and scale it to the dollar versus Swiss. Have a dollar Swiss robot. You just couldn't have a robot that's going to go out there efficiently. He has to be tuned to the spread and to that broker and what that broker allows for a trade. And the frequency of trading and the ticket size and all that. So all those things. And then if you can reduce the risk as the trade goes your way, so maybe you unless you've got like $10,000 and you're going to risk 2%, which is, you really, I just don't get that either. Like, how much money are you trying to risk, right? You're risking $500 a week. What can you afford to lose first? Okay, so if you're going to open a business, what is the rent before nobody comes in the fucking door? It takes you a year to get your first client. Like, you're like, dude, I got all the gear. I'm ready to go. Nobody will fucking... So how do you leg into any business? Well, first you're going to probably have to use your buddy's gear, right? And this is the idea of the prop house. Well, I'm going to go... You got money. I can kind of drive the car. That's why there's 120, or the podcast thing. I don't know. This podcast vein is coming out of like Apple, these Apple computers, which I just resent all day long. The whole idea of the Apple computer is like, okay, dude, that's like a Porsche TT or that's like an Audi TT. Like, okay, it's cute, but we're just trying to build shit here cheap, get it done. Then we go have fun. We go play a guitar. We don't sit there in the fucking computer. I don't know, people are staring at their phones, but I'm looking at the same thing. But I think I can rationalize the computer because I'm making money with it. It's a tool to make money. I do like watching movies on it, so I guess I'm both ways on that. But so there's probably about a handful of people that will let you trade. At this point, I guess there always was if you were picky about your clearinghouse, your broker. Back in the day, I was just happy to trade. I thought, oh my God, finally. And so why do people trade? Because they want to make money without working physically. It's not a physical workout. It's a big chess game of, well, as far as the way the market's behaving, but then your interpretation of what's happening. So a big fast move And then the market stalls, and you wonder, wow, that's kind of weird. Did it stall because it's 5 p.m. and everybody's just going home? Kind of. Did it stop because it had a target? It had to catch up. So the makeup sex, so to speak, of the market is like better than the first time because it's making up for lost banging, right? So the void that is created by being unfair, it's like, you hurt me, you have to make up with me. You know, you could hurt the person coming back in and then overshoot the runway, engulf. Okay, this is the engulf. Okay. You want to be the engulf on some level, even though people say that is the most 60% win rate. Okay. You got to situate yourself, and this is where 28 pairs may be a daunting task of situating that. If I did that, I'm telling you, I'd have to print the charts out, the monthly charts, print out the candlesticks, and just look through it like a fucking book. Because if I got to look at one more computer screen, I'm going to take the tablet I have here, and inside of Stardom, they'll kick me out, but I'll execute it right there in front of them. I'll just go spastic on it. So I've resisted the touch is so light that it's like you just can't manhandle this tablet. They should have some. I mean, maybe I put a screen protector on it, I could get more rough. And the worst recording I did was on vacation, recorded to my tablet, all pissed off at this guy named Ricky Ricardo, I called him. And I just went ballistic. It was, so there's all sorts of bad recordings out there. I should probably take them down. I'm very embarrassed. Audio files should never have, right? It's like, I don't want to say. I have a joke in my mind. Epstein joke. But people, oh people, there used to be on TV. People get something in their mind and you say, oh people. So I'm at $1,100 a margin now. I am so bullish on this euro dollar. You have no idea. Okay, you can think my video's fucked up because they haven't moved the screen. People are gonna say that I was fine. The video's fucked. Okay, so here is the unfair value, people, and I'll show you the makeup sex. Forex porn. You know, if I really was going to try to make money with this shit, well, first I'd have somebody review my audio clips, but I would say, I'm going to give this away for free. This is a giveaway. Forex giveaway Tuesday. Technical Tuesday, or Terrible Tuesday. First of the month, though. Cha-ching. 2 months left in the year. Could be a big problem for the dollar. Looks like gold pulled back. I don't know if gold pulls back anymore, but gold looks ready for a nice monster move to the north, possibly. Hey, you know, I could go. I'm not saying it can't go to 5,000 like all these people, but Jesus, what happens then? What do you think it's going to cost for gas in your car? And of course, some of these people overseas are just out of their mind. Can we trust them to do anything rational? Okay, so I'm at 4,800. I've been to 6,000. I've been now to 3,200. Trading, I didn't trade enough of the breakouts, so that's a problem. But those are on the 4-hour chart. So I'm waiting for, there's 6 bars a day. Asia is one entry window. The other entry window I would say is, okay, if we go sideways into London open, you could have an elaborate position, and of course the broker's not going to charge you for the other leg of the hedge either, margin-wise. So you have more margin. So when the market was tanking, I went from using $1,200 a margin to $700 a margin, and on winning tickets, I got the fuck out when we bottomed out the first price pulse down. So I went, and then I went in again. So here's my hedge I put on. Oh, I might have deleted that. Wait, so it's something like that. All I did was, okay, so here's Asia. This is a hourly. It's 4 hours of nothing. This is your entry window. You could put sell stops here. You kind of have to force it because it's going to want to put a buy limit. But you have to say new ticket, new, like wherever you're here. That's why I would just go over here and grab a drop order, or just there's one called SS at the bottom, which is sell stop. These are sell limits, SL. So this is just your classic 10 pips per hour laying track, 10 pips per hour above you. I could do this right now. Here, 10 pips, I'm going to sell up here, 10 pips above a 1K. If I lay this track in like this, this is going to be 10 pips per hour. This is 3 hours north I'm selling. Totally linear grid. Now if I wait a half an hour and the market spikes up, I can nail those same tickets, but I don't want to nail them now if I think I'm getting it. This is just a convenient way to trade because I don't have to worry about, oh, is that, and look, I just nailed that 50-yard line perfectly. So, oh shit, I'm missing my goddamn toolbox. It disappeared. Please hold. It's just, I don't get it, man. I think maybe because I'm using the other drive. I don't even know why it's doing that to me, but that's life. Okay, so we're going up. And I don't think, I mean, that's not a big position to sell into, but I feel like I want to sell in between those. If I don't have a script for that, then I just can't hit the button. Besides, I'm cashing out on all those greens. And I want to buy more right now, just before we step over the borderline. It's 6 minutes before the bottom of the hour. If we can just pop above this, I'm going to cash out. Take me down to $800 of margin. I'll be back to $5,000. Now, I did cash out Friday. Went flat almost. I was in like 50 some odd bucks. Had I put on the hedges on the 4-hour small bars, just in this crude version, if I got 6, I just clicked the shit out of this order bank here. So what I do is, it also slows down your trading. These are all 1Ks, so for you to get a hedge going, it's kind of, it has to be work. If you just hit a button that's going to put them all out at the same time, all in the same ratios and all in the same extensions. Now you could add better ratios and longer targets, 120 pip target, but you have to ask yourself, are you really going to stick it out for 120 pip win on the euro? It's going to take all fucking day. Unless the news came out and went just nuts and went up 250 pips, and then you're going to say, fuck, where's my 250 pip target scripts, damn it? There's no fucking perfect trade. I mean, these are all baby trades that add up to a composite, right? So your girlfriend, 80% good, you know, that's pretty good, right? 20% she's out of her fucking mind, but, you know, these are the losing trades. That's how it looks, man. And then people get on your nerves, you know. And then, like, you're in the kitchen, I'm in the kitchen. Are you going to get out of the kitchen? I'm in the kitchen. Are you done? Like, I mean, So, of course, it's great when they have, like, leftover food. Oh, all of a sudden, yeah, it's good that you're in the kitchen. I like it. You're good. It's not so bad after all. But, yeah, I don't like the idea of selling that. I'm just doing that for example. A lot of stuff I've done is for example purposes only. I'm showing you what it looks like when you press this button. People mistake that for like, oh, but I am throwing in tickets like that. With real money, I'm throwing tickets in, but not to the density, insanity of like, okay, and I will tell people up front, I'm going to blow this fucking account up. First, I'm going to make a bunch of money, and then I'm just going to drive it off a cliff with insane, trading too much frequency. Over trading it because that's when you're doing a video, you want to have some drama. Other people just be like, oh, really? I mean, people are posting fucking 20-hour videos. Guy says nothing. It's just nothing but fucking some robot or just the balance. Okay. I suppose I could do that, right? I mean, if I had some account people wanted to monitor, this is a real account. There was this guy in this room talking about trades, and he's getting in big positions, in and out, single positions, like blow your mind, I mean, it's a lot of work. There's a video I wanted to do a video on this guy. I did a search for live forex. Oh my God, this guy's made 30 grand on 3 tickets of real money, no stops. 10 grand in the account. He's up to like almost 40 grand. It's like, good work, man. It is so funny. I'm gonna have to do a thing on it, but that's what people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see any problem with taking 10 grand and going, oh, dude, we're gonna fucking make like 30. Now, if you step back from that, of course, just like if you always trade like that, stopless, at what point are you tapping out? Like, unless you have a fixed stop that's going to get triggered, and you're actually going to, in a disciplined, repeatable way, 2 minutes before the bottom of the hour, you're going to keep getting. If you're going to keep doing that trade, then yeah, I mean. Now, Asia to me is like kind of the mystery spot. We could go either way, and we've got this fork in the road. This is where the non-directional traders win, big time. Because they just don't give a fuck, and they have the crudest trade plan you can fucking imagine. It's not none of this fucking, oh, I'm waiting for confirmation. What the fuck is wrong with you? Everybody's dead at the party, but one less hot chick left behind. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, real. I mean, it's so obvious what's going on. There's the delta. There is it's either going up or down. Now people say, well, yeah, but see, you got trapped there. I'm not trading one fucking ticket. I got the scalp out. You got to have a spectrum, soft target, soft stop. If you're risk adverse, if you do not want a hard risk, it's one thing to have a leak in the roof and slowly over the period of 5 years lose half your house to the leak, but you accept that, you watch it. If all of a sudden a tree hits your house and in 5 minutes or 5 seconds, same amount of damage, this is a different kind of situation. So you're in a high levered position and you're watching the equity fluctuate. So I'm up 676 bucks. I could go flat right now. Like Monty Hall, I could just stay here. I don't have to go to the next room, the next curtains. So I'm going to add to this. I think we're going to step north here through the window. I know the selling is going to be feverish, so I'm going to actually put my targets at 10 pips, 11 pips, 7 pips stop to make 14, 7 to make 22. Double click that. I'm putting in 2 of those. So this is really what I wanted in the end, because I had a touch screen I was going to buy. It's called IntelliTouch. It costs like $300 to use. The software is where they fuck you, because you can only talk to this keyboard. And I thought, God, if I could have pictures of like buy and sell. So what I did was I have a tablet, and I just made font go to 200% on the Windows. So I'm just double click on the Windows. I can still run the other. I can still do the laptop. But the tablet's great because you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning or whenever you're curious to take a look at the market. You know what to do every time you see it. If it's dead, I'm putting a hedge on. If it's screaming, hopefully I'm cashing out of my hedge now on one leg or the other. So I'm trading non-directionally. I have a sense when we're done going in. So as I was saying earlier, that psychologically, you're winning waiting for the bigger trade. So you say, well, sure, I can see the trend traders are are selling or buying, I can get on that trend trade. I can do the trend trade. Sure, I'll buy it a little bit on that, but I'm not going to fucking put my whole thing into the trend trade. It's really kind of utopian. I mean, it's just kind of like you want it to continue because this pullback is triggering a momentum, or as these people say, the RSI histogram or the strength rater. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. RSI is the cleanest. There's only 3 numbers there. You know, you have a 0, 100, and what do we go back? 3 days? How many days do you want to go back? RSI can't see more than 3 days back, but it's a composite of the lag of compressed momentum from 3 days. If you put 3 days on your RSI period, so RSI is a spring. It's like if the market was pushing against suspension, they could bottom out to 0 and go to 100. So imagine a car like that. I don't think RSI can actually get to 0. You'd have to have numbers. I've seen near 0, like 0.01. I remember on the dollar yen. Go look at the dollar yen on the monthly and put RSI 3 period on it. You'll see it crush down and literally not come off the mat. It doesn't even make it to like 2 for like 3 months. People say, well, you're buying over. Okay, well, you know, are you selling into that? Because if you kept selling into that with 1,000 pip stops, you got destroyed eventually. So depending on how long these things take to unfold. Okay, we're stepping through the window here, going north. It's 3 minutes after the bottom of the hour. So I want to see this thing pop to the 50-yard line by the time 9:30 comes along. Yeah, that was a sad recording I did. I remember when I listened to that how it sounds so squirrely. I should have just thought, oh fuck. I was a little tired though. I was not really paying attention. So, I just bought some more. So, I really want this to, by the top of the hour, so in 25 minutes, I really want to have like a spike up. We could say that it flagged out. We have a pennant. We have people trade these all the time and make money. They're just this classic move. You take out, like here is your double top. This is why people say double tops. Don't try to sell double top because of this. But if you realize that maybe this could be your target, not this. Like the dream is for the bears, it goes here, but right, this could also happen. It could also just keep meandering, and the more it meanders, the more brutal the move is, right? Double bottom, meander, uh-oh, whee. So last night, I did sell into this tankage, although I did get in late. I got in here at the this last little burst. Then I load up here. Okay, so I cashed out here. I made money until we got to this point. When we scoop out this rooftop here, cashed out, and then I put in limits here, and then they really drove it down. And that's a deeper pullback than I thought, but I put some deep 8-hour in this currency. You don't really have to go that deep. This currency, you could trade every pip on that. Right, so you have a 25 pip stop down. You risk about $250 or something. It's a standard lot, but it's distributed in here. So really heavy. Buying at the market also with a 50 pip stop. With a 20, I got stopped out of some of these, but I retained about 80% of the relationship. And then here comes the makeup sex. So here you think that she died in a car crash, and you find out she's still alive, so you show up in her hometown. Oh, how you doing? And then just bam. So this is the decline of the relationship. Here, you write at the round number. You're like very hopeful here that it's going to get better, and you're going to be able to go like this. But no, one more trip down memory lane, and of course, oh gosh, we got to go take out these people here or trap the breakout guys on the daily. So the daily breakout traders are like, see, breakouts don't work. No nonsense would say. See, they let you have a little, they let you sell that for a little bit there, but then, you know, sorry. Then they gave you some more hope to the downside. I bet the bears were all excited about that when they were like, yeah, man, that's right on our channel. Yeah, that's it. Sell there. Fuck, once we take this out, we get a Ferrari. But it's like, that's too quick of a move. This would trigger my long bots, market bots. Here we are, just cutting north. We got to get to here. We've got so 22 minutes left. So I'm just going to post this makeup sex video, and then also this is the other big sell window. We're cashing out on the way to this. I'd probably be out of about $300 of margin. And then these are the big giant targets. And I got some real lofty targets in here. I must say I'm dreaming about the complete destruction of the dollar until the end of the year. This is in the British pound has really, this is my buy window here that I marked off. Look at that. Look at that fucking insanity. So here's the first buy. Now notice how this is really difficult for people to trade this British pound. Why it's so daunting, and why these auctions. There's baby auctions and there's gigundous auctions. There's engulf patterns and then there's engulf patterns. The 30-minute British pound. You dip in here, people are like, woohoo, now that is a new low. And then they come up here and they take out the high of the day, woohoo, and then look at this engulf. And then another engulf. Wow. That's some amazing price action. How is that not the most amazing move? Look at that fucker. Are you kidding me? So your tickets that you bought here, if you didn't take something off of that into here, so this is why it's so difficult, because did you write a 20 pip winner? Did you get in here with a stop here? Did you buy all the way down with stops that are here to here, and you lost 20% of the position, but you retained the rest? Did you sell like unfucking believably dense tickets here with a stop here? The problem with trading is that you got to sell up to here. You got to sell all the way up, because this is the best price to sell. It's higher than this one. Which one do you sell? Okay, this doesn't exist anymore for the market, only this one. This shelf is the only thing I can see. I can see this rooftop and that. So if your first sell starts here, and you're willing to sell all the way past that and past that for all week long, willing sellers. You have to be a willing seller. You have to join the crowd of the level 2 traders. The dome traders. Depth market, son. Look at that British pound. Oof. Notice that is the top of the hour. turns on a dime. Just shear down. This is disturbing for people. Kablam. Then rip. Even the sellers made money up here for this little pullback. Look at this little, look at this. They tagged this area. This is the microcosm of this giant fucking thing here. It is so subtle. Now this is the 1 hour chart. So who could have made money from a breakout strategy on this chart? Okay. I could. We're meandering. We put on a hedge. Buy stops, sell stops. All right, you made 20 pips. 30 pips, 40 pips maybe. You could build a at the market hedge. I buy, I sell, I buy, I sell, I buy, I sell, because these are baby moves. I sell, I buy, I sell, I buy. I'm building a winning position. We explode out, cash out. I'm like, holy shit. I got limit orders in here. If I want to take some kind of thing with me the other way. So it's all psychological, because once you're at home and you don't have a problem putting sell limits there, it's the obvious choice for the limits for the market makers. But you can still say, it's down. I'm buying at the market. In a perfect world, you never hard buy or hard sell. You know, you got to be like Trump. You got to say, oh, I'll take a look at it. Still looking at it. People are like, dude, the guy's out of his mind. Yeah, we fucking, well, you got your shit together. You know exactly every fucking day. You probably would have killed yourself by now if you knew everything that was going to happen. A little Twilight Zone factor. So this screaming up, and don't forget it closes above that, trapping anybody that is so giddy that they're like, dude, we're going to go here. Yeah, we might go there, but, and now it's all Asian, quiet. It's like Calgon in here. Look at this. Now here is the classic accumulation underneath the 100-yard line of this. Don't forget, some guy had a trailing sell stop there. He bought here. He's like, well, I'm going to protect my position. They got stopped out. That's the pivot. That bottom becomes a top. You're trapped under here. You create a void. No more sellers, and it comes gushing in. Comes a backlash. 20 pips. It gets very erratic, very wild, up and down, and this is how people are making money from 20 pip moves and 40 pip moves that are just chaotic. If you can handle this, I'm sure in the 5-minute chart it makes total sense to get in. There's probably a triple bottom here on the there's probably a triple bottom here on the 5-minute chart, right? This is how it is. Now here there's probably a 15-minute chart with a double bottom, or maybe even a 5-minute chart. Maybe there's some 1-minute chart with a nice, beautiful divergence on the 3-period down here. But it wouldn't matter to the guy that's just buying this area. No guarantee that we'll even go down there. But if all you got to do is hit a button, what's your fucking investment in labor here? See, this is automated. Some guy asked me, am I using a robot? No, but in a sense, this is not totally, it's really not manual trading. I think the manual is it gets as if I, and they're not in, the scripts aren't in here for some reason, but inside this file, if you open up the embedded in here, what I posted on that site, if you open it up, there's zip files within zip files that don't show up in the navigator here. So there are other orders in there. This is the tablet version, so to speak, of this navigator that you can see inside the program, but you know, outside of that in the MQL folders, there's a lot of stuff zipped in there and actually duplicated and stuff. The spread here is not the greatest. See, it keeps on fluctuating 1 pip. The spread in the euro stays tight below a half all day long. So if you do want to make, another thing is that I took these orders from a different broker with a fixed pip. So what you're looking at here is kind of a swing trader in a clunky version. You can take these scripts and you can bring them down to buying every half pip, a half pip below where we're at right now for 15 minutes. Now that would be, you're probably going to get filled in 15 minutes. On the euro dollar, if you buy right now, you just pull the trigger, you're probably going to, unless the market is screaming north, you're probably going to fill on a buy limit if you put it at half a pip. So what you're saying is, I'm not going to buy at the market. Buy half a pip cheaper, every half pip down, 20K. So you bought 20K in a 10 pip zone. That's that's better than buying 20K at the market, don't you think? So in each one of those can have a different stop and a different take profit. Now maybe to be the shallow stop, shallow take profit, right? It may be that, but we got 12 minutes before the top of the hour, so we're making some headway north here now. We're making a run here on the euro. So the other trade I did here was I put it in buy limits on this one. I got a little bit of a fill here. I got a dead cat bounce. Okay, so here is the buy window. The scalpers have taken it off the table. This is for our chart. They got the little dead cat bounce. The trend traders are selling heavily here. They sell bigger when it drifts up, or you should, because you'll make more money. Right, ratio wise, because you can put it in a stop here and a stop here, and if it even gets to, if it makes it to, we dipped in this window for a little bit. That also fueled that moves to this whole area. But if we can make it to here, I would cash out and start buying from here, buy very heavy here, and then buy I bet the ranch down here, and then beyond here I would buy even more. But of course this is be like 2 days out, or 12 hours, or 1 day, 8 hours you're buying in here. Otherwise your tickets expire in 8 hours. Because if the euro goes screaming up, this will probably collapse into this hole. It's not going to be a perfect, like when one goes up, the other one goes down, but you will see things correlate and sync. And but once that's filled, once that vacuum's filled and we punch north on the euro, then we would get this kind of, it looks like they're in sync, at least for that. Same thing here on the Swiss franc and the Canadian dollar. I ran limits really deep, and I didn't get filled because this had already collapsed, when I looked at it. We were already smashed down to here, so this is the 4-hour chart. So it goes smashing down, and I pull the trigger on limits that have evaporated by now. I still think this is if I'm going to run my buy stuff, I can just buy here, but really it's about buying here on this one. If you can donate some tickets to that, I would say, yeah, that's going to be a nice, crazy scene. Go below this round number, 90 cents. So that's quite a pullback there. So 99 cents. That's the. It's so funny that right here is par. Dollar Swiss is synced up here. Look at this amazing trap on dollar Swiss. Could this be the turning point for the dollar Swiss? You can't get hurt too bad trading this. I know people are bored to death by this currency pair, but we hit this back here. In June, we were banging on that $1. So, yeah, dollar Swiss. I know people really feel like it bit their arm off there on that depegging, but it's pretty safe to get back in the water here. I mean, look at some of these runs on dollar Swiss back here, like 2018. For the love of Pete, look at that thing. Oh, it's so dead right now. So these are the sell limits. If you had sell limits up here, you're up 100 pips on this trade. Now, I know this just seems like an impossibly stupid trade, but it is a real trade. You could sell here. And that's a very deep vacuum. The next place to sell is it comes up here. Next place to buy is down here, obviously, down here. But are you going to trend trade this and say, well, you know what, this is a pullback. I got a doji here. Yeah, maybe you buy a little bit here. Where's you going to put your stop? Okay, so this still could come crushing back to here. I don't want to babysit it. I'm going to put buy limits in here. Besides, I'm long dollar. If I'm long the euro, then when the euro's peaking, we should be coming into this hole. That's typically what happens. If you do stare at the charts as you're watching one currency, unfortunately, you can't take strategy tester unless you had two computers that were going to play back at the same rate-ish. Then you could watch the euro go in one direction, dollar Swiss in the other, going like, wow, I see the correlation, right? You'd have to sync that up, right? So you're running a test on simultaneously currencies. That'd be something. You get 28 pairs playing back. And you go, oh, I see what's going on now. Otherwise, you have to stare at it, you know, or take snapshots of it. You probably can maybe get your system to. So then later on, you can play it back in like a frame-by-frame thing and try to make judgments on the correlation, I suppose. But then, of course, would you take that going into the future? Do you have a trade plan for it? Are you just kidding yourself? Are you just giving yourself false sense of security and stuff that, you're like, yeah, that's a good idea, but I don't know if I'd actually put money behind that. Yeah, I like that idea about the nude prop house, but I don't know. I just don't know if we can get people to invest in that. It's awkward. Okay, so sellers have already come in here. They just backed off. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. I hope I got out of something. It looks like not. So look how they just pulled it back there. We are in the seller's window for sure. The bear's den. How do we know? Look at the price action here. 5 minutes before 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. As soon as you get above here, man, people are cashing out. As soon as you get above there and here. So I will cash out above there. If we scream up there, I'm out. Sellers above here galore, and these guys are already up on their trade. Anybody that sold that window. So the cool thing about forex, 5 decimal broker, they let you put in orders 10K in 1 pip ranges, different prices. So if you're looking at that, see the spread here. Commissions is 0.2, so it's a half a pip total round turn. Not bad. And I'd say the people that sold up here, they're cashing out whatever that money is. 4 minutes left. I'm hanging in there. Another thing I could do is, if I don't want to chase at the market, right now I can put buy limits in here. It's getting all squirrely because this 10-minute window, 5 minutes before and after the top of the hour. So this is going to be something that went out. And by 9:30, I want to see us up above here. Then I would come in with the buy limits like this. stream them down. This is where you get creative. You say, all 1Ks, by the way, because otherwise you defeat the purpose of absorbing this area. You just defeat the purpose of it. It's only one click. So I took the tablet. So I'm actually on the laptop now, but it is the tablet script. So when I build a new script, I run it always with real money first, because I've already dialed in. I want to buy 3 pips deep for 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but how about 4 hours? And then I go, okay, I might put a wide stop on that, because I'm pretty certain I'm going to get that fill. But I don't have the fucking patience to watch this bullshit. So I moved to limits, because I just feel like, okay, this is a good price. Let's get in here with a 100 pip stop or a 50 pip stop or no stop at all, for God's sakes. It's 1K. And let's see what happens. And then I thought, let's just buy like 10 pips deep just in case. And that's always worked out better than buying at the market. And of course, that's a 1K also. Then I thought, well, maybe I should buy 20 pips deep for the next 8 hours. But then if you're on the British pound, that's not a good idea, because you're probably going to get filled on that ticket in 8 hours. If you're going to perfect expiration, it gets there before it expires. But it could move there in half an hour. That 8-hour ticket is going to pick it up. So every time you put in orders that last longer than 15 minutes, you're exposing yourself to more fills that may not be good, or they may be wonderful. Of course, what if they don't fill it? Somebody asks, well, how many of your percentage of your tickets fill? Well, hopefully it's, I guess you kind of want to get half filled maybe, because you never want to stress out, like if you're not paying attention, which I'm really not. When I throw those tickets, I'm estimating that's going to cost me $20. What's the likelihood of the risk that them even touching those tickets and getting filled? So if you're too timid, you trade too deep for too short a period of expiration. It's not that you can't do that, because like No Nonsense says, not losing money is the key. Okay, if that's your key, and of course, I guess you don't want to abuse the broker with a bunch of spam tickets that they're like, dude, you keep putting in these 300 pip deep 15-minute tickets, like, cut it out. I mean, that obviously is a broker abuse. But if you put a ticket in that's 300 pips deep and lasts all month, that may be the best trade on the planet if it's in a very sweet spot. But how long are you gonna wait for it to get filled on that? And that's why you want to get on some type of mechanical trading plan, some type of rehab from Gartley's, because the idea that we're going to go to this one price and this is the optimal trade entry is just so silly. It's 9 o'clock. We're climaxing here. Let me go to the 1-minute chart here. I know people love that 1-minute chart, but it's only good if you're looking at the market steeply like this, because this it's going to make sense if I go to the 1-minute chart. Whereas if you are all scrunched and you go to the 1-minute chart, you can't even see a trade. So since 5 minutes has gone by, we have 5 bars. 5 1-minute bars makes a 5-minute bar, by the way. That is also, it seems really obvious, but you'd be surprised when you actually examine it that, wow, you're like that. I can see with the I can see what's going on. So I'm on the half-hour chart. The 1-hour chart, I'm going to jump to the 1-minute chart. So let me drill down to what I know has happened in the last 5 minutes. I'm just going to switch to 1 minute with a fixed scale. Oh, I see. So this 1-minute slam down, now this was 5 minutes, and this was a breakout on the 1-minute chart. Could you have traded that? I suppose. You got 2 minutes to fucking get on either long, short, but you're hopefully out of that trade by the time we come down here and start, hitting this vacuum. So, yeah, on the daily chart, this may take like 2 months for the market to do this, and if the market did that, I think that might be on the news. Like this is like a news event on the 1 minute chart. So the same fractal, the same story holds that there's a guy who bought here and he's like, I love this trade. I think I'm going to run trailing stop. So he puts in his trailing stop and then he does a cancel replace. He moves it up a little bit and here they come. Those evil market makers are going to stop hunt him because they see his stop, right? I'm just making that. I'm just joking. They can't see your stop, people. This is the end of the trend. It's like everything's going so well. This could be considered a trap for breakout traders. Or how about that just, how about they hunted the bear stop? Why not, right? The guy sells here. Jethro sells here. He puts his trailing sell stop. Oh, they stop him out and he only makes this, which is barely the spread. Look at this nice breakout. Breakout run, consolidate, another breakout run, distribute, come back. 1 minute chart, for God's sakes. Well, right now, I would have buy limits here. Buy limits here. So I would trade the 1 minute chart like this on the limits because I want to get this price. So here's the unfair volume. You go into this like auction thing, come back here. We haven't made it back to, we kind of make it back to these triple wicks there. No, we're in a trading range. I'm going to buy on limits down here now. But not really because I'm already in. Actually, I don't have a ticket that would do that. Mine started at 3 pips deep. So 15 minutes, 3 pips deep. That's another thing. Is to protect yourself from blowing up the account, you take the tablet. You only use the scripts that you, this is a discipline comes in apparently. You see, I'm only going to trade these guys every hour. This is what I'm sticking to. I'm going to buy 10 pips deep every hour on this one instrument. Try to get some swing, some kind of retracement trade going. And I'm going to look at the 4-hour chart. I'm going to try to capture moves on that. Right, this is, you'd have to have some kind of trade plan like that. Let's hope you have some, or you just, trading on your gut, looking at the screen. So I don't have any limits in here, but I'm already long. And my stops are down here. I think if it goes terribly against me, I'll start getting stopped out. And the 1-hour chart, it looks pretty healthy. I mean, I expect it to, like I said, the sellers have made. If we go to the 5-minute chart now, let's try to get out of this insane chart. Let's be realistic about what some people consider to be structure. So here's the thing, is that we see a double top in closing prices, and people say, yeah, double tops work sometimes. I don't know if there's any divergence here on this thing. This is quite a nice run. We do have support here. This is we're at a top, become a bottom. We did get a nice bounce off of that, but then sellers came back in here. They just stop hunted this guy, so maybe you have limits here, limits here, limits here. A little more civilized. 1 minute chart. I mean, unless you're really trading big, I don't think it's worth anybody's while to sit there in a 1K and make half a penny. I like to look at the 1 minute chart when I'm in a position. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. It's kind of entertaining, but so each time frame, it does matter what time frame you're on. It really does. I'll go to the 15-minute chart now. So the 15-minute chart, what people talk about, ICT and these, a lot of people run a 15-minute chart, but they typically have it like this. But I'm just going to say that if you can see this, you can see 1 day back or 2 days back. That's about all you need on a 15-minute chart because it all makes sense. Here it's uncharted water on the north side here. let me condense this. See, to find, okay, this is 2 days back. That's a lot of data. That's why I'd rather have the 1 hour chart and less to think about. 2 days here, 3 days back on the 1 hour chart. I could get rid of the navigator, give me more real estate, but okay, this is 4 days back on the 1 hour chart. You can clearly see all the nooks and crannies that are really critical here. Take out the high in Asia. Look at the reversal on that. That's insane. Here there's just no buyers here. Not even a chance. Well, there is one baby rally here, so your trend bot would have loaded the wagon with very tight stops, because the smaller the move, the tighter the stops. So very small moves. Tight stops. Here you kind of get whipsaw, but here's another. These auctions are happening. See the unfair on both sides? You engulf, you re-engulf. Double makeup sucks. I guess this is after the gender change. That's why he doesn't trade reversals, I think. But look at the wick on that. Closing prices is just a perfect inverted head and shoulders there. Kind of quadruple. This is what's fucking people up, is the wick. But what I'm talking about is this bottom is the deepest to the left. This is deeper, and this is the deeperest. And the reaction, once we fill that, look at that reaction. Look at the reaction from this one. Now you would think, oh, that's just going to keep screaming north. No, they trap it there. So 9 o'clock has come and gone, and I haven't hit my target. I'm very disappointed. This setup took 3 hours to come down and stop hunt this poor goober and then rip it up. So if you have a trailing buy limit instead of trailing sell stops, your trailing buy limits here, you got filled. You made a few pips. Trailing buy limit here, filled, made pips, right? Trailing sell limits. You're trading bracketed like that with limits. So the choice is, do you look for these nooks and crannies, or do you just say to yourself, you know what? I just want to sell 10 pips apart for the next 4 hours. That's my trade plan. I don't see anything wrong with that trade plan. I don't think there's a real need to go looking at the God, the more I think about that recording. The need to stare at these charts when like it's some kind of like, well, I waited for the indicator to catch up, and I waited for the indicator to first get there, and then I waited for it to re-catch up, and then I got in the trade. Okay. But can't we just all admit that if you sell, you want it to go down after you sell, don't you? After you buy, you want it to go up, because that's how you're going to make money. What could possibly I just don't see anybody finding this indicator that's right 100% of the time, or even 80%. I just, because there's so many exceptions. So no nonsense gave himself a way out. His way out is saying, well, I had the one candle rule, don't forget. Prenuptial. Oh, look at this. It's a double top here. Pulling back. Could be a double top. So this whole would be, it just wouldn't matter. Like, whatever you're in, you're in. You could tighten your stops. You could do that. But then you might kick yourself out of a perfectly good trade. Okay, so with all these tickets running, I'm keeping my stops at the original place. My way around Not moving the stops is to put on a hedge. If I put on a hedge, I'm softening. Right now I can put on a hedge. And if it keeps going up, I will get filled on the long side. So they're not against each other. The insurance policy of hedging does cost more. But you don't have to be a hero and say, I'm going to pick the direction, so therefore look at me, I made the market call. You could make a market call that's correct. And if you're not in big enough on that trade, you're going to say, next time I'm going to double the size because I'm really good at calling the market. And that's the time that you would lose the 2 winning trades, right? This is the math. And also the idea that you get better and better at trading, therefore you should risk more and more, your account grows more and more and more. Every trader that's ever built an account up to a substantial amount, if they lose anything like 10% of that, they may say, oh gosh, like this forex hangout guy who'd built up an account. He traded his style, and then he went up in size, and he might have made money. But anybody that loses more than, because they're kind of pushing the next level, which you do want it to do, I would think. It's only makes sense that you want to, if you go to the gym, you're trying to build muscle, you're not trying to get worse. So if you're trying to build the account, you're trying to get it built. But if you have to do it in a manner that's non-directional because the answer is you don't know. Right? This is the agnostic trading system. Because the golden ratio. When I heard that first time I heard that, I said, okay, well then we have to find girls that look like this too. I think that's a good pickup line. You are like, you're so 618. You are like seriously like 618. But I don't blame people for wanting to mate with the 618 and the Gartleys. This is, we love this story. But to watch the guy who wanted to sue me for talking about his fucking harmonic pattern and just saying that he's got a patent on it, and this carny fuck who was coming after empowered trading. I mean, I watched his video where his Gartley bot, his Gartley scanner, keeps repainting every 5 fucking minutes and extending the tip of the entry. Well, of course. Jesus, it's always changing, dumb shit. Why are you torturing people with this lame fucking indicator? Okay, so I guess I'm pissed off all over again. So much for my therapy sessions. I'm working with a professional. Yeah. When the person that's trying to heal you is more out of their fucking mind, is a problem always. That's 9:15. Okay, we're finally resuming what I consider to be the trend I want to see. And that's the thing. People would say, well, why don't you sell? Can't you see it's going down? Well, I mean, if I'm swing trading it, I'm just getting in, I'm just like, dude, yeah, okay, there's going to be some zigzags. We can scalp. I don't want to hold on to. So yeah, the dangerous thing I think is to not only moving your stop is bad, widening it is to widen your targets, because you just ain't gonna make it there right now. Like it's not a straight line. And you may even have to like I could have gone flat into Friday. I held a little bit. I mean, the spread was so wide. When Sunday opens, if you're in really big, when Sunday opens, you'll be down because the spread's wide on every currency. I like how the no-nonsense guy was talking about, well, these markets don't really gap too much. And then crude oil, they blew up those Saudi oil fields or whatever, and crude oil spikes up. It's fucking going, dude. That's when you're gonna get slippage, right? You come into the weekend and you got you're short crude, and like the gap opens $5 through your stop. Yeah, they're not gonna honor your stop coming into Sunday. I think everybody knew that, right? I mean, that's obvious that that's real slippage. I don't know. People make all sorts of claims like, hey, look, you stopped me out. If it's a bad quote, but then of course if you're in some illiquid broker, there's not enough people holding the trade. Oh, it's getting really squirrely here. The prices are going nuts. So right now the spread is kind of the only, I'm seeing the spread fluctuate. Price a little bit. 930 is going to be the determiner here. So I'm holding long. And yeah, I'm holding long into this thing. Yeah, it's you really have to lower your expectations. It just comes along with the territory. When you're trading in these tiny tickets like this, it leaves you more flexibility to. It does a bunch of good things. Like it makes it harder to trade in a way, so it slows you down. Because I know you want to be a sniper. I mean, some people want to be a sniper and they want to trade standard lots, and you can do that, but it's very stressful, I think, especially at the market. Because it's like, dude, you're saying that the moment you pull that trigger, you're right. That you're right about that trade. So that may be just a bridge too far. I mean, that may just be too much stress. Whereas buying a 1K at the market, putting a buy limit 50 pips deep to buy another 1K, walk away and go, you know what, I'm in. 100 pips stop on each ticket. Maybe 200. Risk $40. 20 pips stop on each ticket. If you told somebody on the street, I just bought $2,000 or something, and I'm risking $40, I could lose $40. I bought a $2,000 television set. I'm gonna try to sell it later on for like $20 profit, and I'm risking $40. People would be like, "Well, it's better than a lottery ticket, don't you think?" But when you put that trade on and you look at your chart, you're like, I don't know. Fuck, I'm up like 20 pips. I'm only up $2. I'm not getting rich. I don't think I feel that rich. That's why people trade really big. But why not just... if you're going to trade for all the month of October, it's got 31 days of trading for this month. If you trade once a day, like 20 trades, but then split the ticket up and say, I'll risk, so if you flexibility of a $5 stop, a $10 stop, a $20 stop. Maybe you do have some shitty ratios. I'd risk $20 to make $10 if I had an 80% chance of winning, but I'm talking about, this is not like a robot that's going to keep, you're not going to keep pressing that button every 5 minutes. Like, it has to be in context of the frequency of that trade, and you've also got to have the other trade that risk $1 to make $50. I mean, risk $10 to make $50. Sometimes you're going to have to risk 20 to make 10. Right, sometimes you're going to be like that movie Alive, where these people landed a plane in a snowbank and they had to eat each other, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, some of the big moves in these markets, you know, I think the no nonsense guy is looking for a big move that keeps going. His algorithms obviously, he's already said he's a trend trader. He doesn't trade reversals. We all know what it's about. We all know his view of the market. He's putting moving averages on indicators. Okay, this is what MACD is. You have a histogram of the convergence divergence. Yeah, you can take his. And some people like histograms. I like histograms because it gives you each bar. You can count. The first time I saw the histogram, I think it was on Bull and Bear Power, printed out on paper. So I bought that too. I bought that with the videotape. I must have spent $800 on Alexander Elder material, like Bull and Bear Power. I had the video. I watched it on beta. I had ordered his everything high res as I could get, kind of blurry. And oh god, just filmed on, like, you know, the crudest gear in the world. So I was like, okay, I see there. And then I thought, well, I need a trade plan for the Bull and Bear Power, and that would be a stop entry. He was using stop entry confirmation. And then I looked at Alexander Elder Ray. It's called 13-period exponential, right? I thought, well, fuck, if it just gets near the moving average, because I'm a little bit, I'm overly eager. I like to trade aggressively, so I thought, well, on the way to as we approach that 13 EMA, let's just start buying every time it touches it. Every bar that's in that and dipping below. I'm not going to put a buy stop in after some dumb shit confirmation. Just the word confirmation just pisses me off. Because where do you end with that one? You get a second confirmation, a third. Well, if one confirmation's good, isn't 10 better? You're confirmed for takeoff. Boom. Oh, gee, what happened? I don't know. Well, something changed in the weather. The other thing is that if tweets are like the weather, like a storm coming in from nowhere, sheer wind force, how planes get crushed when they're trying to land, wind shear. I don't even know if that's a problem anymore. I don't redesign the planes, but I don't hear about SUV rollovers. And are they blocking the real news from us? Is wind shear still an issue out there? I know turbulence are on the plane. You just shit your pants. You're like, oh my god, I think I just died a little bit. Okay, I'm still waiting. 5 minutes before the bottom of the hour here, so some kind of gust of wind to kick us over. See, this is why trading's difficult. It's tame in Asia. I'm not really winning or losing very hard. We got to get to the London Open, which is time away from us right now. It's a little bit out there. It's okay. We can wait. So we can take a nap, or we can experiment with another script. Kind of visualize in your head, or write the script right now based on what you think is going to happen, or just there are drag and drops in here. Like I said, this is all tablet stuff. I'm talking about double clicks lately in the videos because that's what I'm doing. I'm double clicking. Just canvas the area with a hard written pip depth, hard written buy stop, and a market order, of course. That is the original double click in my mind, is market orders, because it's not a pending. And the buy stop pendings really are the kind of thrusting confirmation. It's got to kind of crush through, keep going without hitting your protection stop. Hopefully hitting your targets if they're not too outlandish. And of course you don't want them too shallow, but there's nothing wrong with making 3 pips with a 5 pip stop, or making 8 pips with a 3 pip stop, and everything in between. All those different, you can You can literally have them all in there. And the nice thing about the tablet, you can scroll down, get to another order bank, double click it, and you could actually, like I know people do, talk to people with their phone in their hand, but I could say, just a minute, look down, put on fucking one click, throw in 80K, right? I don't have those because I would probably put in 5K per click, so 4 clicks is 20K. A potential fill tickets, It's like, okay, I put this to, and I see something like maybe it's the top of the hour, maybe I've got some like Taser watch. I don't know if those watches like let you know it's the top of the hour. And then just be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go here and hit this, or a bell goes off, or some kind of thing. 2 minutes to the bottom of the hour here, and the market's kind of getting organized, or it's moving into an area just before Europe opens, or it's it's probably going to be a different price than it is right now, unless it does go sideways, and that might even be better. So whatever the market's doing, it's okay. It's never going against you if you accept it can do anything. So the market can do anything, and it can move any way. So if that's true, then the trick is to accommodate what it can do. So if it smashes up, and you're not going to be awake to sell it, then you're just going to have to accept the risk of putting in the pending limits, the sell limits up there. And if you don't want to babysit it and you think it's going up, you just get to buy at the mark of the wide stop and go to sleep. Or you're going to put buy limits below you. Or you're going to put buy stops above you and let them pick you up. Or you're going to put sell stops below you and let them pick you up. So it's very complicated because there's I guess technically there's 8 positions. First position is I'm not long or short. Well, okay, I'll say 7. I'm not in the market. Number 7 is I'm not in the market. Number 6 is you're short. So you could either be short at the market. The other one is that you're going to be long at the market. So there's 3 positions you could be. You're not in, you're long and short at the market. The other one is that you're waiting for them to trip into your limits or your stops. Those are the other 4 choices. You got long and short stops and long and short limits. So each one of those, I would say it's connected to it's a type of entry, it's a type of order, but it kind of is dictating, depending on the placement, that you are saying, come and confirm. That is the only confirmation you're going to get. It's not indicator confirmation. It comes to your price that you picked. And the breakout, if you do pure confirmation, is buy stop, sell stop. But so is limit, is a confirmation in a way, not of a momentum continuation, but of a better price, a better entry. It's confirmation of a better entry, because if you're buying, you want to buy low. What if the market keeps tanking? Is that a good entry now? No. It was better than the market order, right? So the market's constantly moving up and down. So how are you going to get on this train? And which town are you looking to go to? If you don't care what town you're going to, you get on the train when it stops in the station. In Asia, the train stops in the station. Are you going to get on? Do you care the direction, or are you just trying to make miles, pips. So you're just trying to log flight miles so you can get your flying license. So if it's just a matter of the market picking you up on that ticket, going the other way, you don't have a lot invested in the decision of that. If you're purely just buying 20 pips deep for the next 2 hours. So then people would say, well, then why don't you just take and write a robot like that? Well, you could. But then, of course, 20 pips deep on the British pound is different than 20 pips deep on the whatever have you. You know, the Canadian dollar. They have unique kind of ranges, and the spread's different. Oh, they just stopped punted some goober here on the euro, so they're pulling it back. That's 930. It's come and gone. They just stopped on it. So I'm tempted to buy some at the market right now. You can't see it on this chart. I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart. Oh, jeez. I wish this would just jump to that mode for me. So see the stop hunt here. Now this is where the devil's in the details. So right here I'm going to buy at the market because of that stop hunt. And I'm going to put in the 5. So I'm going to run these scalps. 5 pips stop to make 14. And now I just got to click. Every time I click, I'm double clicking. I'm getting in one case here. But even here, I can pause, slow down. I'm getting a better price. If it just drops a little bit, so it's very, very precision trading with 1Ks because I can wait. Right? I'm snipering with a BB gun, for God's sakes. Right? This is what I'm doing. So it's going to be 5 minutes after the bottom of the hour here in 1 minute. So right at 9:30 on the half-hour chart, we closed down. I talked about this in the video the other night. It's down into this structure, but just because it's down in a half hour, I literally going to buy at the market with a tight stop. So I'm doing that right now. And I could have done it 4 minutes ago because that bar was down. That's just all there is to it. Like if I bought this down bar and this down bar, eventually this one's up and this one's up. Or I bought limits, so I buy at the market. So my 2 types of orders are filled here. Buy at the market. I'm always buying pullbacks if I think it's going up. And I got limits getting filled. So I've got 4K. And I got limits here that never filled. And I could buy this baby pullback. And I have a limit here maybe, and limits here that didn't get filled. So I'm always running trailing buy limits. So all 3 of these, I'm going to say market orders and buy limits is my preferred method. I'm saving the stops for the sells. Like when the market's rushing up, I don't have a problem running sell stops. Or tightening up some stops. Now, you're either going to tighten these stops or you're going to have it so that you're taking 7 to 22 pips off the table, something like that, as it goes up. So you're cashing out. You're reducing your exposure from how much margin, how much you have invested. That's your investment. Also, I can delete the objects on my tablet. So I can trade on the tablet and keep the screen there. So dual computers, one instrument, dual computers. So I'm really focused on the euro over maybe 2 or 3 computers, or 2 or 3 accounts. I'm actually buying at the market here. I'm supposed to be deleting objects, so it's very easy to keep track of this euro dollar. Very easy. And if you can trade with a 5 pip stop all the way to a 50, that's it. So putting the hedge on here, 12-hour hedges, 2-hour hedges, 4-hour. stacking that all up, putting it in, just walk away. Go to the store, come back. I don't like to trade while driving. I used to do it. Back when I didn't trade with stops, I just sit there and I had 4-digit brokers so I could scroll down on the phone. I could go scrolling in and just put a limit order in. The problem with the 5-digit broker, by the time you scroll down, you've only made it like you could be in a car crash by the time you get the ticket in. So I just added to this position. So my drawdown's I'm going to see more fluctuation in price now. It's just never moving. Of course, you can't expect in Asia, but we really have to engulf here. We've got to go after this so I can take something off the table. And now this is the obstacle. The scalpers did pretty good there. They were able to make, in a half an hour, this many pips coming up, selling into that new high. Not bad, I must say. And the 15-minute, guys, the 15-minute chart looks just like the gold chart on the weekly, monthlies. So here it was. The 15-minute traders, they sell here, they sell here. This is still, they're just a break even on there, and they made it to here, but they never filled. If you had a buy limit here, this is why you can't just put a buy limit here and say I'm going to buy that. You got to have something you can pull the trigger here, buy at the market, realize that, or you're just still holding. Okay, you can still watch the 15-minute chart and say, oh, it's confirming I should stay in. Then I'm gonna wait it out till we take out the high of yesterday. Take out yesterday's high. And here I'm just going to go to another time frame because I don't want to zoom out. So I'm using the time frame to condense the data. There's nothing special. Especially the wicks don't really notice the time frame because we don't know when that wick happened during that 1 hour period. So it's just really pure price. Just pure volatility. So go to the 1 hour chart. And I can see the high from the 2 day ago high. So if we take out yesterday's high on the way to, this is the beginning and end of the day. Go after that and eventually go after this. It is the end of the month. It is engulfing. And this is the ultimate target up here. Or have these ridiculous sell limits. They'll probably be gone by the time the market makes it up there. So that's another kind of problem that you may encounter, is that you're putting in sell limits that never get filled. They expire before that, but like No Nonsense says, you should be so grateful. You're not losing any money. You're so grateful. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm just going to post this thing because I'm trying to duct tape over the other bad video. Okay, looks like we're going to make it through the window here. Try to get back to 6 grand. Try to make it to 10 grand here by Wednesday on this account, starting at 2 grand. We're going to try to make it there. I'm going to trade heavy with the tight stops, trade light with wide stops. And that should balance out the equity hedge when needed. I'm going to make some at-the-market hedge tickets, I think. Play around with that. I don't think it makes that much money. You're guaranteed that you're going to lose a leg, whereas if you do confirmation bracketed buy and sell stops. Also, you could have biased breakouts where it's a buy stop and a buy limit and a buy at the market. It's a bottomless pit. But to be as clean and simple about it and try to be building block about it, if you just had if all you could trade was a buy stop, You think about where you're going to put that and how long it's going to last. I don't think you want to put a buy stop 20 pips above you, although people do this. Don't forget. If you have a buy stop, you're saying I want to buy, well, why don't you just fucking buy it now? Right? That's the next thought. Every trade plan you look at, you have to say to people, why are you doing that? Like, you want to buy, but you want to overpay? All right, yeah, maybe a little bit, right? But not all the time. You can't chase everything. Sometimes you have to wait for the market to come to you in the limit sense. But what if it comes to you and goes through you? Okay, well, you have to think that that is a possibility. That they could just scream. But if you put on the hedge, the thing is, you don't want to be binary and say, you don't want to be an all or nothing person in these markets, because I don't think the people that survive it are. I mean, the people that, I won't say survive it, but the people that are making consistently 30% instead of making 100% and having to be really talented, they're just kind of like mechanically trading and making 30%. That's perfectly acceptable. I mean, not everybody that buys a guitar is going to be... Some people just want to play. Some people just want to sing karaoke. Don't forget, they don't want to go out and write a song and try to be famous. There's plenty of decent... of course, I don't know. Last time I was at karaoke, I thought that the backing tracks were a little misleading. They weren't exactly the real song. So I wasn't sure if these people were trying to accommodate the bad backtracks, or they knew the song based on the original, and they were confused by the bad tracks that they actually could sing. I didn't know what the... I was trying to figure out, well, why do they sound like shit? Why are they so offbeat? But then if people's hearts were in it, you thought, yeah, this guy's... Oh, but then you figure you're in a bar, he could be drunk. Karaoke. Yeah, nobody's making a living. Are they making a living at karaoke? So the market's just drifting up here. Oh well. This is what happens in the modern world. Yeah, I just it's a new month. Off to a fresh start. 31 days. Every month should have 30 days. No, the calendars are fucked up, obviously. Got 25 days, 28 days. Dude, set it at 30. Who set up these calendars? Who are these people that... Well, what we're going to do here is... why? Of course, then, who can explain the holidays? How lazy are people? We'll invent holidays and we'll just do nothing. Oh, I hate that. You go to the store, it's closed. Well, we're having a holiday. Get to work. Fuck, I'm working. I'm alive. Shit, I drove out here. You should be here. You should be open 24 fucking hours. Back before the crash of the market, stuff was open 24 hours in a row. It was beautiful. You could walk in the store. Hey, I think I want this. Then they're like, these people are like, no, the economy crashed. We're just going to, not only are we not open 24 hours, we're closed forever. It's so funny that I think the stock market, yeah, going to go all-time highs here. Yeah, gold probably keep going up, it looks like here. I don't know. I never bet all in one trade. I don't see how people are doing that, honestly. I guess if you take enough trades and you have your was the no nonsense calls it, and I was reading in the Discord channel, it's called the scratch and win, or the mark off. Oh, you chalk it up. I chalked that up to bad behavior. Yeah, Your Honor, I was just behaving badly. I chalked that up to using the chalk up defense. Impulsive trading, that's what I chalk it up to. I mean, I'm going to have to go watch the No Nonsense Discord again for a little refresher course on designing the Holy Grail. I love when people say, my favorite parts where people say, yeah, I did that, but I just didn't have the confirmation indicator that I built back tested so well, and I inserted it into the new algorithm, and I took it out in the market. I used real money on it, and it didn't do as good as it did in back testing. I think I'm just going to give up on it, or I think maybe I tweak it a little bit. Meanwhile, things are passing by these people. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just, it's like they're on a train that's moving through town. Their GPS has a moving average on it. Well, I'm waiting for my indicators to catch up. I'm going to stay on the train till it does. Can't you see we're about to hit a brick wall? Nonsense. Look at my fucking indicators. Get the fuck out of here. Stop looking out the window. Reality's not my friend. Can't you see the town we're driving through? This is the slums. This noise. It's flyover. According to Hillary Clinton, it's fucking flyover country. I like when she says shit like, I won in the most productive states of America. Now, you fucking losers out in the country, all you do is try to grow corn to make ethanol. Because, the government made that like the farmers are like, holy shit, you can drive cars with this shit? I don't get me started in the fucking politics. You lose your mind. These fucking assholes. They're no brighter than a prop trader, apparently. Yeah, prop trading for dummies. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna start a new channel, prop trading for dummies. The people with southern accents. Come on, Earl, tell us your algorithm. Sit down there. Hey, get yourself you like XXX drinks like moonshine, do you? Hey, you like XXX porn, son? Here, we got a prop house just for you. I think you're going to fit in with our team real good. Okay, somebody from the Human Resources Department is going to reach out to you later. Are you going to be home? We'd like to text you. Do you text? Do you have a phone? Oh, you have a pitchfork. Yeah, I don't. That's the funny thing about Bill Williams. Is he's from Georgia, so he was making money on this dumb shit trading system, kind of a turtle trading system, really. And he was in the newspaper down there. I mean, that's big. I still like Bill Williams. I mean, he knows that the fractal thing's ridiculous. He already says, you can't get in there. But hey, the guy was like, and he had this thing where you stand up trading, right? Stand up because the blood is going to your head better. He's kind of a hippie, long hair. He ties his hair back. It's funny how he's just really the guy. He's the guy that's put himself out there. He's inside the platform. Chaos theory. The alligator indicator, which is so retarded. I guess it's like cloud. It's just like, it's an excuse to have a bias. Although he does non-directional trading, the fractal thing, but maybe the 1 minute fractal would work. But so Bill is definitely a country folk, country bumpkin, real simpleton, and just a lot of the stuff he says is right on. The smarter you are, the best thing he says, the smarter you are, the harder it is to make money. Yeah, because you're always trying to tweak it, Let's see if we can dial this off. We just optimized it a little bit more. Oh my God! But then it becomes fragile. I never did optimization on. I never did that on EAs. I did that, I think, the first time on an EA, and I thought, no, I need curve fitting it now. I want the crudest trading system on the planet. It's the most robust trading system on the planet. Is the crudest trading system on the planet. That's winning. That's another reason why it just gets under my skin, this whole no nonsense telling people, well, you just have, there's 800 indicators out there. I'm not going to do your work for you now. You got to go out there and build your own algorithm. Okay, but this is like an insanity treasure hunt. I mean, I guess you need to go through that. We all do. And there's a catalog there of women, of likely women in your age group. Now, I want you to go online. So now you can't live in our basement the whole time. I want you to get online. I want you to look through there. Find yourself a quote-unquote date. And entertain if you have to pick up the check for dinner. But you can't live in the basement anymore, son. The safety of my indicators will protect me from the world. Now you can take your algorithm now. You can go out there. It's a wild world of insane women. Can you imagine having an algorithm for your date? So you're on the date. And you look at her. She's definitely proportioned okay. She's fitting into the algo. And you say, honey, do you mind? I hardly know you, but do you mind if I tweak your algo while you're here with me? Real time live. You did a few mannerisms there I'd like to include. You did some spiky kind of weird movements there. You're getting all fidgety on me. I don't like that. You're making me want to become a serial killer and tie you up. Okay, but I'm just kidding. No, but I can see how people would love to do that. People do that, I suppose. You're with somebody. What do you want for dessert? What do you like for dessert? I like the checklist. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you impulsive? I'd love to do it. I'd love to have a prop house, actually. Hell, I was sitting down for the interview here. Okay, so this is my prop house interview. Actually goes like this. I've already got this laid out. We could have real money, or could have very real-looking money. I think real money. Bring some money with you. Bring me 20 singles, and I'll just start lighting them on fire in front of you. You don't know that. You come to the interview with 20 singles. So I guess give me one of those. I'd say lay the money out there. Give me one of those dollars there. And just start twisting it, balling it up, flicking it around the room. Then I light it on fire. See how upset you get. I put you in a lie detector. And so after all, the $20 are destroyed. I wonder how people would react to that. What is the going rate of reaction? I think 100% of the people are going to feel something if you just destroy money in front of them. It's like burning a flag is what you're doing there, son. It is rough, but I look at it as an investment. I mean, if I'm in a drawdown, yeah, I guess I could say I'm not really trading because I'm still in it. Now I'm an investor. When a trade becomes an investment, and they make fun of people that buy like your dollar cost averaging. Of course, it's in stock market. You can't keep pulling the trigger. You're going to buy 1,000 shares. Every time it drops, you buy 1,000 shares. Okay, maybe you lose all your money. But maybe you don't. Maybe you're buying a pullback. You don't know until... and also, how long is it going to take for you to accumulate that? 3 months? Then it rallies for 6. Do you dump the whole thing? And it goes up 50 times after that, and you go, oh, shit, I should have stayed in. Well, you didn't. That's a loss for some people. They're like, fuck, I should have stayed in. I should have let my profits run. I don't know who's not thinking that. I mean, or maybe you just numb to it, so you don't think it anymore. Or if you accepted your bad exit up front, right? Just like you take your losses up front, you take your early exit up front and accept that you don't have the patience or you don't want to expose yourself, so you just get out. So I typically don't because I'm stubborn, so I would stay through the whole trade. My new cure for that is to put out a hedge. So I can put a hedge right now in the euro dollar. The longer it treads water, the more better that trade plan is. Of course, you have to be in a country that allows it. Obviously, I think you could do it synthetically inside of another broker with 2 accounts. You could do it. And there you could actually do a single tickets, I mean, you don't have to have an account for every ticket. I guess that's the answer. Have 10 accounts at Oanda. Right, because you can trade independently on each of those things. And first in, first out per account. There you go. How many accounts are you allowed to have? Probably 10, 20 for a broker. So that's the other workaround. There's always a workaround. Come on, look at this Biden fuck. What a piece of shit this guy is, Biden. Jesus fuck, man, dude. Bragging about, yep, you know what? And then, what a dick fuck. He says, you want to call the president and ask him? I mean, I'm sucking his dick. You should hear what he says for me. God, Biden. These people, dude. This is from an era of fucking dinosaur fucks. Schmooze fucks. Peddlers of pull. Real scum fucks. Biden. He makes like the crop of young radicals look like just kind of like just innocently stupid, where Biden's actually gaming the system like a welfare recipient, like a welfare queen with a Cadillac. I just can't believe it. It's a circus, man. I mean, politics is a circus. So, the market's a circus, too. And, like, whatever the market does, when they say stuff like, market was down today because, the trade deal's not... Dude, this is all fake news. This is what Bill Williams says. And I kind of had a feeling something was weird there, so he says, well, the market moves, and then people got to write a story about it. So they make shit up. Oh, yeah, well, it's because of this. Well, if that was true, fundamentally, that's good news for the market. Why the market go the other way? What's price doing in the market? The market already knew that news. I never go to zero hedge for... So that's another thing, when you're talking to somebody that trades fundamentals, you'd be like, all right, Zero Hedge says that. I'm like, yeah, but we have a trade for that? Like, that they just printed more Bitcoins? Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. I give up. So I'll upload this video. And then take a look at the London Open again. See where we're at. We're just not making our targets here. We're pulling back now. It's going to take another 2 fucking hours if we ever make it up there. So I just sit in this trade here. The bears are making money here on the trap. Next half hour, I'll buy at the market again. That's all there is to it. The 4-hour charts update later on. I'm not going to... let's see, here's the 4-hour chart. So we could put in a hedge here. It's not going to matter too much. I don't know if I want to get trapped. So last night, I made about 15 pips riding it south there in the hedge. So just kind of like held the equity kind of steady there. Changed the margins amounts, the investment amount. And I'm not going to touch this trade. Let them stop me out. I can handle $1,000 drawdown on here. It doesn't bother me. I'm up 500. I was up 600, kind of teetering there. We had a little bit of a 700. We were up 720 when I started the video. It's all right. We're up here. That's such a deep discount. It's first of the month, so I will buy if it drops. Every half hour I'll buy, and I'm going to throw limits down there too. So I'll buy another $500 a margin. If we're at 4,200, when this comes down, oh, good night buy right there. Look at that. Jeez. Wow, look at that. Looks like it's perking up. Did we go lower and stop on some more? So putting in your limits really tight in Asia here. You had just got filled there, see? They just took this guy out. That's a good buy. I'm definitely buying. If we go below, if we could come after this, I'm going to just pull the trigger. I'm already in. I don't have a limit that tight. I hit the right one that's like a half a pip in 15 minutes here, for an hour here. I'm about to buy this area for sure. It's totally viable. I have no problem with that. It makes total sense. All the way to this top 5-minute chart. We're also sitting at this breakout point, but it's about this backfill, filling that vacuum there. And waiting, I'll wait 5 minutes here and pull the trigger at the market. The other way that if you want to trade more aggressively, you go to the 5-minute chart. Every 5 minutes is down, you are not breaking any rules to buy at the market. If that's your trade plan, you're planning your trade, you trade your plan. This is where the 1K is the ultimate. Because you just buy it, you know. You just pull the trigger there every 5 minutes. So I'm buying right now at the market. Buy another 8K. Before you know it, you're talking real money. I might wait a minute between these, so I'm buying now. I'm buying this whole smash down here. Then I'm going to in 5 minutes. Oh shit, there's like about it. Okay. I'm going to buy more. It looks so good. I'll put about 20K in here. Alright, good. So I'm going to put some wide stops in. Here's a 15. I make 50. Then I'm going to go down to the big high risk trades. 50 pip stop. 35, 18. 18 pip stops. 8 pip stops. Let's just fucking load this thing up. Fuck these assholes. How dare they go against my long? Real fucking assholes. Look at that. So we just hunted this wick. Nice vicious pullback. Look at them brutalize that chart. So who's the good trader? The guy that sold up here. He's killing it. He sold that. He sold that. He's like, oh yeah. Probably cashed out here. So if I would have double clicked my buy limits right here, I'd be in. Oh, I got some here on the table. Let me. So let me show you. This is the one I wrote. It's 8 hours. You're just going to see a line coming. You're not going to see an arrow. Gotta be careful with this tick. It lasts for 8 hours. It buys 2 pips deep. Okay, so I put it in a folder called 8 hours so that I know that you gotta be careful here. Shit. Okay, so here it is, 2 pips deep. If you look on the left side of the chart, you'll see them come in. So it's like 2 to 18 with a 30 pip stop. And those are 8 hours. So if I wait for the market to drop some more. But if it drops more, I'm going to buy at the market too. So this is critical here. I just went down lower. So now I'm going to launch that 8 hour limit. 2 pips deep. They're not taking my ticket. So this broker's offline right now. I don't see the ticket coming in. Unless it's stacking on top of the other one. It looked like the market sold off enough. I'd see a different pending come in. There you go. Yeah, they just weren't taking it. It's just, you know, if you're constantly hitting the button, these brokers go offline. It's not always available price. Okay, that's pretty serious. I just put 10K in for 8 hours. 2 pips deep. And I'm kind of sitting here just, oh, that's funny. I just saw a ticket come in there. So it's not on this, I'll launch the version of that that's 3 pips deep here. These are the single tickets up here. So the top of the rack, that's 3 pips deep for 15 minutes. So is that with a different stop. So there's 4 pips deep. So they're not really coming in that fast this time of night. So that's the buy low. Let the market come to you. Alrighty then, let's see what happens.